Welcome to The Right Stuff. I'm Sheena and this is Tamara and she's back again!
Surprise!
Alright, but it's because she's more knowledgeable than I am about everything and so that's why she's here. So today she's talking about...
So we have 10 software or apps for writers.
10 pieces of software for writers. Apps are technically bits of software, they're just little ones. But okay, yes, brilliant!
I know what an app is.
Well, I'm telling everybody who's listening.
It's
So
an
that they don't-
application. We need to get like thesaurus.com application, software, code, program.
Okay, so while Tamara goes off on her own little tangent over there, maybe we should start the podcast.
Okay, so number one piece of software for writers.
Yes.
Okay. So
Scrivener. Is it Scrivener?
it
Did
is
I guess right?
It is Scrivener.
I did! Woohoo me! Okay, high five.
Okay. Scrivener, for people who don't know, is a word processing and book planning software.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're probably saying, why don't I just use Word or Pages or whatever text documents thingy is on my computer?
Well, because there's more functionality that's useful to writers than using Scrivener.
Yeah. So Scrivener is available for Mac, for PC, as well as there's an app for, I think, iPhone. There might be one for Android, I'm not sure. But it's a really amazing piece of software. At first, I was like, what's the point? Because I use Word pretty well, and my English is so super good.
I speak good.
I speak very good.
Okay.
Okay, so what Scrivener does is, instead of having one continuous document the way you would have in Microsoft Word or similar software, it actually has like...
You can break it up into categories,
Yes.
sections, chapters, and then you can move them around really easily.
Yeah, you can actually drag and drop the different sections, so you can reorder them if you want. And if you're a writer, you know that sometimes your plan goes in a certain sequence, and then in the middle of writing, you feel like this is actually, the sequence isn't right anymore. And in something like Word, it's very difficult to reorder stuff because you actually have to read through the whole document.
Apart from that, there's also a goal tracker, so you can say, I want to write 50,000 words, I want to do it in 30 days, and then it works out how many words you need to write every day, and then it like automatically tracks it for you, so that you can see, you have 700 words left to write today to hit your target.
Yeah, for anyone who's ever done NaNoWriMo,
That's super useful.
yeah, and it's a similar functionality to what that website does in tracking.
Right, but it's all in one place, and then you can also compile it into the different formats for publishing.
Yes, and you can also house your research and your notes all in the one document.
And your cover and your
Everything.
character notes, and as you're writing there's like a little section where you can add notes that saying things like, I need to get Bob to the gym by 6 o'clock, and it doesn't appear in the actual document.
So Scrivener.
Yes.
Okay. Second app I think writers should use, especially if you are starting out and on a shoestring budget, is Grammarly. So Grammarly is a website that actually checks your grammar and spelling. So similar to what a word processor would do, but it's a little bit more advanced. There's a free version and a paid version, and even the free version finds errors that you don't find in a normal word processor.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what happens is there's usually a little type of plugin that actually plugs into most processors, but you can also just go into the browser and copy and paste your documents into it, and it checks it for you. And then you can just click to accept whichever changes you want.
That's pretty cool. That should make your document relatively clean.
It does. It's just like a second set of eyes, if you will. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Next one is something which was new to me, but I think is actually a very cool tool, and it's called Google Ngram. So Ngram. And what Google Ngram does is that it, if you are writing a book that's set in a certain time period and you're not sure about the words, the language that you're using are correct for the time period, you can use this to check the words. It has a whole lot of books that's been scanned into it and all the words, and it will show you in a graph form when the words started being used in literature. So if you use a word like okay, if you've got a book set in, I don't know, 1720, you can go into Google, type in okay, and see when that word started being used, and you'll probably see that it started being used around World War II, and you're like, okay, I need to change the word okay from my book set in 1720.
Okay,
Yeah, helps with people who like to be historically correct.
that's pretty cool.
The next one is Evernote, or a similar type of app. So for those of you who don't know, Evernote is an app that sits on your phone, or you can also access it in a browser, and it lets you take notes and then access those notes from anywhere where you have access to Evernote.
What's cool is it will sync between various devices and
Yes.
stuff because it's online.
Yes. So you always have access to your notes, so you don't need to have a pen and paper if you get struck by inspiration or you need to make a note yourself to check something. You can just do it on your app, in a browser, whatever you have access to, and you'll be able to get it later.
And there's different types of notes that you can have. Like you can copy links into the thing. You can put checklists. There's different types of things.
Okay. Next one is Dropbox. And for me, very specifically, Dropbox. There are a lot of sharing and syncing tools out there. There's Google Drive, there's Microsoft OneDrive, but I find Dropbox the most user-friendly. Okay, so what Dropbox does, it's a folder system that is synced across the internet so that you can access it again from any device. So you don't have to carry around memory sticks, you don't have to carry around CDs. Does anyone do that anymore? I don't know.
How about floppy disks?
Right. You don't even have to carry around your computer. You can access it from anywhere.
You can access it from your smartphone if you've got whatever software is installed to read those files.
Yes. So if you're using Microsoft or Scrivener, and you've got the software on your phone, you can also access it through Dropbox. Why I like Dropbox versus the others is that it's the most user-friendly. If you've ever used a folder system on any computer ever invented, you'll be able to use Dropbox.
Absolutely. But it also has a lot of fun things that you can do. You can share a folder with somebody in particular.
Yes.
And then limit their access to be able to change things in that folder.
Yes.
So if you just want them to see the stuff in the folder but not necessarily delete the stuff in the folder or add other things, you can set that.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite good how much space you get for the free version.
Yeah. And then there is the 1 terabyte version. I mean, you have to pay that for a yearly fee. I think it's $99.
It's worth it though if you use it a lot.
It really is. And it works across any operating system, if that is a worry.
Yeah. No, Dropbox is fantastic.
Okay. Alright, my next one is Google Earth and Maps. Okay. So you're an author based in South Africa or wherever, and you have a book set in, I don't know, New York, Afghanistan, and you're writing from your imagination. If you want to make it a realistic place, you can go look on Google Earth or Google Maps, and you can actually
stroll down the street.
Yes, and make sure that you've got it correct. I mean, can someone really take a walk from the Statue of Liberty to Central Park in 2 hours? Is that reasonable? Probably not.
Wasn't the Statue of Liberty an island?
It
Wouldn't
is.
you drown?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's my point.
Just checking.
But there are some books where the stuff hasn't been checked.
Absolutely. Okay, what's next?
All right. Next is Google Docs spell check.
Ooh.
Okay. Now, again, this one was new to me, and my mind kind of blew wide open when I read it.
Okay.
Okay. I know I've already mentioned Grammarly. Okay. This is another layer of editing. And, okay. Now, usually I'm not a big fan of Google Docs. It's just, I don't like it. But
Spell check.
the spell check functionality uses Google's search functionality. Now, if you've ever tried to look up how a word is spelled, you usually just put it into Google's search and it gives you the right spelling.
Right.
Okay. It uses that functionality. So what it can do is it will check company names. It will check street names. It will check things that usually can't be checked by a normal spell checker. And that won't be picked up by those things.
Okay. But it's not necessarily as good as the other one that you mentioned in terms of picking up the grammar and spelling, so you'd want to be using both.
Both, yes.
Okay.
I would use this as a layer after I've done my normal spell check. This is the next step. And even if you have paid an editor, whatever, I think that's a really good thing to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. The next one is Dragon software.
Dragon software. How I covered thee.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Dragon software is a voice-to-text application.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you get it for the different operating systems, and it's one of the best ways for writers to write faster is to actually speak their books instead of physically writing them.
Because you write a lot slower. No matter how fast you type, you write a lot slower than you speak.
Yeah. So Dragon helps you do this, and you can also then narrate wherever you are. You can narrate while driving, while taking a walk.
Well, that's the nice thing about the software is you can literally record on your phone, while you're driving or something, come back, plug it into your computer, and it will type it up for you.
Yes. And obviously you're going to need to do spell checks and stuff, but you need to do that anyway. So
And you need to train your dragon.
You really do need to train your dragon. How to train your dragon.
Exactly. Okay.
All right.
How far are we down? Are we
Okay,
close?
we're on the second last one.
Okay. Number 8.
Number 9.
Second last one. No, we just finished number 8. Never mind. I'm a word person, not a math person.
Ancestry.com.
Okay.
Ancestry.com is a website that has people that basically traces family trees.
Okay.
So you can go trace your ancestors, mostly if you live in America and have access to all of their very open born, deaths, marriage records. But if you do have a book set there, it's really cool for being able to track not live people, but people who actually existed. If you're writing a book based on real people or events.
Okay.
Or even real places. So say you're writing a book about the gold rush, you can look at people who actually were there.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. And then the last one.
Drum roll. Do I feel like we need a drum roll? Yes.
The last one is the 5,000 Words Per Hour app by Chris Fox.
This is a great app. It accompanies the book.
Yes. So Chris Fox, for those of you who don't know, is a writer. He's a very successful self-published author.
Ridiculously prolific.
He's super prolific. And he wrote a book about how to write 5,000 words an hour. If you're an author and you want to publish books as fast as possible, it's something you'd be interested in. So in the book, he tells you his system for writing up to 5,000 words an hour. Mm-hmm. And part of that is the app. And his system...
Well, it's tracking. The app tracks your writing.
I was going to get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So his system is about tracking your writing and doing what is called a word sprint. So it's setting aside periods of however long and writing as much as you can in that time period. So the app helps you to track that, and it helps you to get faster by tracking it.
So you can see your averages, how much you've written every day, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and
you can set goals for yourself.
Yes. And what's cool about it is that he's talking about 5,000 words an hour, but he's also not advocating that you literally sit for an hour and write 5,000 words.
No.
You'd have to be a robot to do that.
Yes.
So what his app does is you can set your sprints for any length of time, for example, 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then you can track how many words you can do in 20 minutes, and then the app will calculate what that translates to in an hour. Mm-hmm. And
so if you do 3 or 4 of those during the day,
you can get your 5,000 words in an hour, or whatever. I mean, 5,000 words is a lot. I think most people would be happy if they were able to write 2,000 words in an hour.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And 2,000 words a day will get you to your 50,000 at the end of the month.
Yeah. The app itself is called 5K WPH. So if you're looking at it in the App Store, that's what you need to search for.
Yes, but get the book too. All of the links to these things will be in the show notes with descriptions.
Yeah. His book is really good. He's got a lot of experience, so he's a great person to learn from.
Absolutely. Well, this was a fun episode. Thank you for that. I covered all of these things.
You have some of these things.
That's true. I have some of these things. I covered the ones I do not have. Actually, I learned some stuff, though, about the spell checking, particularly. That was interesting. All right. I'm Sheena.
And I'm Tamara.
And you've been listening to The Right Stuff. Come and join us on Facebook at the Lesbian Talk Show chat group. And don't forget to rate this podcast and subscribe on iTunes in particular, because if you do that, then we go up in ratings and other people can find us.
Yeah, other writers, other lesbians, other wonderful people who want to listen to us.
Pretty much. We don't mind who listens to us as long as they're wonderful.
Okay, so go do that. Bye.
Bye.
So
Good
interesting
job.
thing about Ancestry.com,
Yes.
it was created by the Mormon Church to help people basically cement that their ancestors were Mormon by relation to them, so they can all get into the same version of heaven.
Really?
Really. And Mormons get, it's either Ancestry.com for free or like a very steep discount.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do we have Mormons here?
Yes, we do. Do you know that big church that you see in Parktown with the big spires?
Okay. They made a cool website though.
Yeah.
So you have to pay for it. Like a subscription fee.
Yes, there's like free stuff that you get, but then there's paid for stuff. But what's cool now, it also links up with things like 23andMe, where they test your DNA, and then you can actually go find, you know, people you're related to that you didn't even know.
Genetically.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so awesome. We need to go do that.